Our next storyteller is Tim Boyle. He believes in rock and roll and the healing powers that can in fact save your mortal soul, and that Top 40 radio gave him a glimpse into the divine once upon a time. Please welcome Tim Boyle in the best damn year of his whole damn life. Tim Boyle.
Corey, thanks a lot. Thank you so much. And of course, what a wonderful story. And who can forget that Dolly Parton wrote a song about Mark? Janine, 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 what do... No. Mark grew up in Wilton, Iowa. I grew up in Bennett, Iowa. Two little bitty towns not far from one another, kind of between Davenport and Iowa City. And yes, it was a small school I was in. We had to multitask. I was the valedictorian, the class clown, and the third best baseball player. So we had to put them all together. So anyway, yeah. Oh, 1970. Best damn year of my whole damn life. I was, if we want to go sound of music here, I was 14 going on 15 as we left that turbulent decade, the 1960s, behind us with a fresh start in 1970. Yeah, the 60s a little rough on a lot of people, especially rough on my family, the Boyle family. I'm Timothy Patrick Boyle. That's about as Irish as you can get. And my mother was kind of the keeper of our Irishness in the family. And I don't know if many of you are possibly Irish, at least a little bit. You know the Irish, we love us some death. I mean, memorials, wakes, funerals, celebration of life. That's like Irish tailgating. Sean's dead. So's Pat. It's a party. And my mother was very much in that vein as well. And yeah, it was a small town, a lot of farming. It was a farming community, German farmers, Belgian farmers for the most part. So we stood out as Irish Catholic. But we were the boycott. We're the Liam Neeson Irish. We weren't the damn Irish Spring, I like it too, or Lucky Charms. No. We were hardcore. We were badass Irish. We really were. So was my mother. My mother had some wonderful lines that she would turn to all the time. She would say things like, well, never let the truth get in the way of a good story. Okay, yes, we all like that one. Conduct yourself with the proper decorum. I'm thinking, Mom, I'm 6. You're dropping decorum on me? Offer it up for the souls in purgatory. I still do. I'm kind of a professional Catholic. I still don't understand offered up for this. Apparently, suffering that we go through here, we can forward ahead to the souls in purgatory. It's kind of like a hotel rewards points thing, I can send 20,000 points to the purgatory DoubleTree or something. I still don't get it, but in bad times, she would say offered up for the souls in purgatory. Yeah, that was Mom. But back to the year, it was the best time. It was wonderful. Things were finally falling into place for me. I tried for years to play baseball. I was no damn good at it, but finally, freshman year of high school, I figured out how to hit a baseball hard and frequently. Then, oh my God, I discovered the theater. I'm still on stage to this day, but I was a freshman and I got cast as the lead in the senior class play. I was this troubled young lad in a production called Oh Dad, Poor Dad. And yeah, very obscure reference, but it was a wonderful year, except for one thing. I was the last among my peers to go through the maturity process, shall we say. I'm pushing 15. I've got a driver's permit, and I still got braces on my teeth and freckles, no facial hair. I'm giggling like a girl. I'm just thinking someday, some way, it's got to arrive. I was like some sort of anatomical, waiting for Godot, hoping desperately for some growth in the private sector. It was like I was a combination of Beaver Cleaver and Samuel Beckett. Another one about 4 of you will get. That's okay, but I was waiting for it to happen. Oh, and this happened a few years ago. I heard an interview on IPR, and it was with Eric Idle, a member of Monty Python's Flying Circus. Loved Monty Python, real influence on me as a young yuckmeister, but I loved Monty Python. And he said he always admired the British actor Peter Sellers, and that he finally had a chance to meet Peter Sellers. And he's so overcome, and he goes up and he starts, talking to Mr. Sellers, "You've been such an influence on me." And of course, I'm in this group called Monty Python's Flying Circus, and and Peter Sellers said to him, "So how old were you when your mother died?" And Eric Idle is like, "What? How in the world did you know that my mother died when I was young?" And Peter Sellers says, "Oh, every comedian's got at least one dead parent." So I guess by that definition and calculation, I became a comedian on the 11th of June of 1966. My mom had, put up a good fight, had been ill for several years, and it was kind of like people talked about how did this occur, and over the years I was reminded there was a character in a Hemingway story who went completely broke, and they asked him, "How did you go broke?" And he said, "Well, gradually and then suddenly." And I think many of us know that that's kind of how cancer works, gradually and suddenly. And, it was only years later in retrospect that I come to find out that, I was my mother's caretaker. And I finally, as a young adult, realized, not every kid takes care of his mother and gives her hypodermic needle shots and things like that. It was only years later that one gets enough perspective on things to understand that was a little odd. But I got to tell you about my dad, too. My dad was a wonderful man, small-town school superintendent, educator, a wonderful guy, and he was very much involved in the teachers' union, that group of people, them. He was big in the State Education Association, National Education Association. He took me with him to a convention in San Francisco in the summer of 1970. Well, exactly. Either I had the coolest dad in the world or I belonged in foster care. He was in meetings all day. He turns me, this kid from Hooterville, turns me loose in San Francisco. I go to Haight-Ashbury. I go to Giants games. I ride cable cars. Angela Davis is on trial. The Black Panthers are feeding kids in Oakland. The Zodiac Killer is at large. Nowadays, kids can't go to Hawkeye Downs without a cell phone in their back pocket. I was turned loose into this madness, and it was fantastic. Then we come back from San Francisco, and he somehow arranged enough money to set aside some time for me to go to a sports camp at the University of Notre Dame, the school he always wanted to go to. He ended up going to St. Thomas in the Twin Cities. Pretty cool school after all. But it wasn't Notre Dame. But he sent me there for a week. Notre Dame, Our Lady. The school's name, Notre Dame du Lac, Our Lady of the Lake. And yes, home of the fighting Irish, by the Christ, we were there, true. And there I was, and it was wonderful to be there. I would later go to school there. It's now my alma mater, Notre Dame. And I was there, 1970, sports camp in Breen Phillips Hall. And there's a clock radio in the room. I was rooming with a kid named Casey from south side of Chicago. And this song comes on the radio. And this is only in the last 3 or 4 years I even put this together. I'm kind of slow on the uptake. But I'm there, 15 years old, greatest year of my life. On the radio, here comes a voice, a woman, a mother, singing to her kid, her son. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Someday we'll get it together and we'll get it undone. Someday when your heart feels lighter. Do. Amazing. Listen, I gotta tell you, grief and grace, they travel together. They're like Pancho and Lefty. They're like Batman and Robin. In the midst of the grief, the grace arrives, and sometimes it arrives on the big 89 WLS in Chicago, the 5 stair steps, and ooh, child. Thanks.
Tim Boyle.